Assembly member representing South Central Los Angeles. We got South Central in the house? Yes. I also represent downtown LA, Skid Row, and Watts. And I'm incredibly proud to now be in this space, to be able to represent our community in the State Assembly, to be able to now be an organizer in the State Assembly. I come from community organizing, I'm also an educator, and so what that really looks like, it means that I'm community centered. But when I first started in this space, I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of imposter syndrome because I've never been in elected office before. I've never been in these halls of power as someone who gets to make these decisions. And so at first, I took time to really look at how can we be strategic? How can we ensure that rather than just coming in here and thinking I know everything, that I really take time to learn and figure out what it takes to utilize and wield the power that we now have as a community organizer to make a difference. Y no sé si alguien está traduciendo en español ahorita. ¿Sí? Okay, perfecto. Okay, I was a little nervous. I can't do all the translation. But really just felt so clear that we wanted to know what we were going to focus on in our office. We decided on two areas: wellness, equity, and restorative justice. On the wellness equity side, really looking at opportunities for mental health, opportunities for substance abuse treatment and access, and looking at environmental justice in ways that we can really expand spaces for wellness, especially green spaces and spaces where people can literally breathe clean air and drink clean water and have access to that. We also looked at restorative justice because along the entire way of being able to run for office, I knew that the people that were going to be most centered, the people that had been with us the entire time, were folks who have been impacted by systems that truly have had such negative consequences in our communities. But in particular, we had folks who are former lifers, people who had spent 25, 30 years in prison, who were coming home and said that they wanted to give back in some way, and they were able to support as well during that time. And we were so proud to be able to work alongside them that I knew that being in office meant that I would not only be an organizer, but be community-centered in everything that we do. And so last year, we were able to bring folks up to Sacramento with us through what we call Impact in Action, an opportunity for folks who have been system impacted to take action in their communities. And we did that because of Pico, California, who helped us do that, who helped us make that happen, who brought together, I think we had at least a couple hundred folks from across California to really raise our voices together, to have a rally, to have an opportunity to have a lobby day to talk about AB 1231, one of our pieces of legislation, one of our bills that is still really focused on how do we make a change in the system by preventing people from even being impacted by incarceration in the first place. How do we keep them out of the prison system by ensuring that we allow them to have diversion programs? That if you are charged with a felony, that rather than just saying that we're just gonna automatically push you into the prison system, that this is an opportunity for us to give you diversion programs, because there are so many, for low-level, non-serious, and non-violent felonies, there's so many root causes that we should be looking at rather than just pushing folks out and into the system. And so, thank you. And so with AB 1231, we worked alongside all of you to make sure that we were doing good work so that we can really address the aspect of prevention and really ensure that we're not just continuing the cycle of incarceration that we often see, or continuing the narrative that people who are incarcerated are dangerous, that instead, that they're beyond redemption, that instead we're bringing the folks who have been impacted themselves to be a part of that conversation, to say, if I had an opportunity to get help, if I had an opportunity to get into a program that helped me to get a job, if I had an opportunity to actually make money so I didn't have to participate in the underground economy, I wouldn't be in this place in the first place. I wouldn't have ended up here. And that's what we want to do, is we want to center the voices of those who are most impacted, and we couldn't do that without those of you in this room who helped to push that day in and day out as we were fighting for AB 1231 last year. And we're back this year doing it again, because the fights are hard and we can't do them alone. And as much as I'm proud to be an Assembly member, I can't do this without real coalitions. I can't do this work without making sure that you all are with me, are able to help us uplift the work that we know we need to do to have a positive impact in our community. And the folks who are system impacted themselves came with us last year for Impact in Action. They created created a small advisory council in South Central called the Justice League, because they want to be a part of this and they want to keep going and they want to make sure to expand to the folks who are impacted every day. And we know that the benefits of diversion are so huge, so important. And so we're going to do everything we can to get AB 1231 across the line, knowing that we're in a time where the governor is in a transition. So he has certain political implications of what he's trying to do next. And so how do we still push and not be afraid of making those real courageous moves that we know can sometimes be hard? And lastly, I just want to say that we know that the pathway of any of the bills we have are dependent on real support from community members. Being an organizer is something that we know that we don't just do by ourselves. We uplift the community, we uplift your voices. And so as we think about the work that we're doing, we want to reiterate that these fights, they don't begin in the legislature. They begin in the community with those of you who are here, those of you who are ready to fight, those of you who are ready to win. So let me hear it. Are you ready to fight? Yeah.